Hello, everyone. I'm Josh Oakes with the smartsocial.com podcast. Today, we have an exciting episode that's all about law enforcement, digital footprints, and a whole lot of other stories that you as a parent need to hear so that you are ahead of your kids a little bit. Today, I have a friend of mine, Sargent Rudy Perez with the Los Angeles School Police Department. We have him live here. Sargent, welcome to the video.
Welcome. Hey, thanks. I appreciate. Welcome home. This is an exciting moment for me to be with you guys.
Yeah, thank you so much. And now it's been a little while since we've talked, but I want to bring everybody up to speed on, I want you to bring people up to speed on what you do. And then we're going to dive into what 80% of your investigations have uncovered. We're going to dive into stories, parents, so stay tuned. Tell us a little bit about what department you're with and how big your footprint is.
Well, definitely. My name is Sargent Rudy Perez. I work for the Los Angeles School Police Department. We are in about 22 cities. We cover about 710 miles of jurisdiction, 600,000 students that we protect, about 69,000 employees. And I got to tell you, it's one of the greatest jobs in the world because our thought process and innovative way of policing is we mentor, we lead, we protect kids safely into graduation. And that's our main mission.
That's terrific. So I like that mentor, lead, and protect. I was taking notes as I am from you because we're going to learn so much in this episode. All right. So first of all, tell us a little bit about what you're finding in your investigations and where those investigations have a footprint.
Well, it's been interesting. In the last 7 years, I was a detective for our department, and I was overseeing the threat assessment unit. And talk about the evolution of investigations changing consistently and the digital footprint to the digital exhaust. There's so much exhaust out there that I call it now that we have to filter through. About 80% of our investigations, whether it's a fight, whether it's some sort of narcotics usage, whether it's, maybe a mental health issue, maybe the issues of depression or suicides have led us to a digital footprint. And it's very interesting because we hear these things all the time from across from active shooters to a simple bullying case. We are finding that kids are tapping into the social networks. Kids are tapping in and they're using their voice to reach out one way or another because it's about the digital audience. How many likes do they have? How many followings do they have? And it's led us to the way that we have to start addressing the digital footprint and how do we do this, right? I'll give you some examples, whether it's a fight. You won't believe this, but kids have created fight clubs going, hey, how many hits or how many can we go viral with this hit? And they'll stage certain fights to the extent where they get hurt. And then we get concerned parents calling in, hey, my kids been in a fight. And sometimes these investigations have led us to these, whether it's a YouTube video or an Instagram video. And then we look into it and actually they've been faked, or the fights are fake. Some of them have been real, but unfortunately some kids get hurt too. So the digital footprint is out there.
Okay, so fake fights, that's interesting. And what you're hinting at are numbers. They're looking to go viral. Am I wrong?
That's right. You're absolutely correct.
Yeah, so they're hinting at quantity over quality and getting that. I hear you say they're using social media to reach out.
That's right.
Okay, let's talk about, fights. Let's talk a little bit, let's hint at what are you discovering that kids' behavioral issues are coming from students not having something in their life for a few months or a few weeks, and it's causing some issues. What is that?
So there's two things I'll definitely tap into. It's been very interesting as we've investigated kids. One is going to be the need to connect on a social media. I need to look at my phone. The anxieties there being out there in these schools are tremendous. I mean, sometimes these kids get anxiety by not having their phone, or I haven't checked in, I haven't said something. Hey, did you see what she said? Did you see what she's wearing? So we've had these conversations, and my school resource officers, because they have trusting relationship with kids, they're like, sir, we got to check in. We have to look into this. The other part has been this. So because technology and the ability of, I want to say, innovation has really changed our narcotics usage, whether it's now vaping. Vaping is a perfect example. We've gone from those big vapors and bricks to a simple jewel that looks like a USB, and most parents don't even know. But what we are finding with our mental health unit is that kids are trying to have, as once again, how many hits do I get? How much smoke can I produce out of a vape? And then we're coming back to that and going, hey, some kids are having behavioral issues because they haven't vaped that day, or they haven't done vaping of a certain kind, and the nicotine, the withdrawal of it, is causing some sort of anger management issues, or causing some sort of issues at a behavioral level. So now instead of being something that the school can deal with, these kids are angry or starting fights, and now law enforcement is getting involved. But then we go back to the digital exhaust. I say these kids are just putting things out there where going, man, I haven't gotten my hit today, or they're using THC now in some of these jewels, and they'll say that. And I will show parents going, do you realize your kid smokes? And they're like, no, I never realized. I don't smoke it on him. Well, you're right, because he smells like strawberries or peaches now.
Yep.
And you're not smelling the marijuana. You're not smelling the smoke. Yep. And these are things. But let me show you on his or her Instagram account. Let me show you on their Snapchat, because this is your kid, right, smoking.
Yeah. So this is interesting. You brought up a few terms I really like, Rudy. You've got the digital exhaust, which I love, which is, we're going to talk a little bit more about that, leaving a trail. We're talking about withdrawal here. I'm no licensed professional here, but it sounds like I haven't had vape for 2 weeks, and their behavior might be coming out, and there's a bit of withdrawal, so they lash out. Am I wrong there?
Correct. That's absolutely correct.
We also get withdrawals without our phones, unless we know why. If someone takes this away, if you remove, I've got another professional, the Unglue app, my friend Alon, he says, if you take this away from a kid, it takes away the supply, but does not take away the demand inside of here. Correct. The demand will outlet, right? So just fascinating where you're going with this. I want to tell you just real quick, that digital exhaust, our podcast that was just released right before you get launched on our site, was about a man that did not know that 5 years ago, but 5 years before, he had a digital exhaust of tweets that were a different flavor of who he was, and were a little bit inappropriate. But he was sitting next to the governor, just got hired by the governor, and his digital exhaust from 5 years ago got him fired because of a disgruntled government employee. So I love your phrase, but that smoke doesn't float away, kids.
Correct.
That smoke lasts for decades. Look at Kevin Hart, something he said inappropriately a long time ago. He believes something very different now. Gets in big trouble, right? Big thing. So I love that. I love that phrase, that digital exhaust. We call it a boat wake, right? Your boat's going somewhere. You need to go somewhere. You need to make sure what's behind you leaves a wake that is complementary to where you want to be known for. Okay, so we've talked 80% of your investigations have a digital footprint. Talk to us a little bit about how kids are hiding information in their phones.
So I will tell you some of the investigations we are having is the camera Volt, like a calculator plus Volt. It's an app that is used. It's a very simple app. Kids grab their phones. Normal now. Kids, every kid has a phone. Hey, mom, I'm going to do some homework. I'm going to look into my calculator. I'm just using, most parents go, well, stop, I'd be on your phone. Well, I'm using my phone as a calculator, mom. And reality is there is a password, and it's not a new app, but kids are using it. So I'm going to tap this into, I forgot to say this, the anxieties of the withdrawals from phones is because kids are hiding something in their phones. Mm-hmm. Kids are hiding videos. Kids are hiding pictures. Kids are hiding something that they want to protect from mom. So this application like Calculator Plus came out where you can actually put your code in and you can upload your videos and your pictures if they're inappropriate and hide them. But you can always have access to them to share with your friends if you have to. The scary part behind that is, are we still there?
Yeah, we're here. I'm showing people the blog post of the private photo calculator app on how to hide. You're basically hinting at there's a lot of apps, and you really hit it on the head here. There's a lot of apps that have a hidden thing. We're sharing my screen right now, where if you hit a certain passcode plus the pound sign or whatever, it revolves, it unlocks, and we have a whole app guide on this that's been shared, 301 times. And parents, you got to know that there's not one app; it's lots of apps.
Multiple apps, absolutely.
And you're seeing them hidden as a calculator, sometimes camera, right? Camera Plus, is that what you said?
Correct, absolutely.
Any other things parents should look out? Like it's hidden as this? Could it be any other functions?
Well, this is what I would tell parents is like, if you ask a kid to open his phone up going, hey, what is this application for? And what I've been telling parents is you can find the usage of what an app is on an iPhone, right? So you would open that up, that phone up and going, hey, what's your usage he's spending time in? If that application opens up and you got 90% of your battery usage being in this application, but when you open that app, it's going to calculator. Well, why are you spending so much time on a calculator? Hint, we call that a clue in police work, you know?
Oh, that's a clue. Yeah, exactly. So how much time they're spending on that specific app. And then parents, another thing that you can do to turn this on, which I think is really fascinating, I think something that you're hinting at here, is to turn on the screen time app on the
Correct.
phone, on the features. Do you recommend that to people?
Yeah, absolutely. I tell parents, turn on the screen time because through your podcast and other stuff that people can go online, you can definitely see where's my kid spending his time on this app and on this phone.
Do you mind if I do that live with people just right now and share my screen? I want to get just a little bit technical so that anybody that's now, if you're listening to this live on our website, if you're listening to us, you can go to smartsocial.com and learn more about Sargent Rudy Perez. But I'm also going to show you, if we click, I'm going to give you people two nerdy little things. You go to the App Store, click on that App Store that was right up there. If you're on an iPhone, you click on the search button. Here's just a couple nerdy ways to do it. And if you type in calculator, right, calculator, and you press enter, there's a bunch of ways to do this. But if you go to, there's the calculator app, which is a normal utility. But if you also go to like private photo calculator and you see any of these that are calculator plus, do you see that right there, everybody? Sometimes there's a private calculator. Let's type in just the word private.
Or Josh, you can have Vault calculator.
Okay, Vault. Great. Let's do that. Great. VAULT, Vault calculator. And I want to show everybody just one little nerdy thing so you can be your own little undercover good parent detective. See this secret calculator right here?
Yep.
You can look at this name. Now, you see how it says the word get right there, parents? If you see the word get, that means your student has not downloaded it. But if you see a cloud there with a download button, that means your student has downloaded it, and that in the past they downloaded it, they deleted it to hide it from you perhaps, and now they could re-download it again because the parental guidance has granted them permission.
Correct.
Rudy, what are your comments on this?
Yeah, absolutely. I think if you go down this.
Go ahead, I'll do that again.
You were looking at, and those are all actually applications that you should probably be very worried about. You know, things like after school, super important. LOL, those are applications.
Yeah, we're going to show everybody right now, just real quick, on this same screen, the popular teen apps. Now, Rudy, you know this, but we believe that the internet is not perfectly safe, but it's a good thing if you know how to start in the green zone. The gray zone is full of messaging. The red zone, the upside drastically outweighs the downside, and then dangerous social media challenges. So we've got the green zone where you start. It's tied to your real identity. So yes, on Instagram, there is a little bit of inappropriate stuff and you can get in trouble, but it ties it to what we call your new digital resume. But then you get into the gray zone where there's lots of messaging. There's a little bit of shoot 'em up, and there's lots of, okay, what are we doing here? Is it going to upload all of our contacts? And once we get into the red zone, that's where you live, Rudy. That's where After School app, Anti-Land is a brand new one that we launched. Have you heard of that?
Yep.
Ask FM has been around forever. I call it the Godfather. It really opens kids up for really bad stuff. Boo. We try and stay up on, kids under 18 jumping on Bumble, using it inappropriately.
That's right.
Calculator private photo app, and this is where we were just at. There's lots of these parents, if you're watching or listening, they hide everything. You can go watch a whole video about this. And then Finstagram. Talk to us a little bit about, are you seeing fake Instagrams or second Instagrams that students are using?
Absolutely. You're seeing fake Instagrams. The interesting part with Instagram, like you would know, and parents should know this, you can open 2 or 3 accounts with one email, and you can manipulate which account you want to be looking at. And if a parent doesn't know how to manipulate the actual app, you will never know that they have 2 or 3 different Instagram accounts on that. The one thing I do want to say about videos and content, the scary part is this: some of these organizations are not controlled in the United States.
Yes.
Right? They're controlled out of the United States. So the laws that they have with the cyber liabilities don't apply to them. And
let's get to that in just a moment. I love where you're going. But hold on. Let me show everybody how to find a fake Instagram account on their kids' phones. Is that okay?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. This is soon to be my new friend, Heavy Mac. He's an SRO at a school, and he's going to be on my podcast. I've already reached out to him. I said, he's a pretty cool dude. Now, if you are not watching this, my friends, then you can go to smartsocial.com and see this video interview with Sargent Rudy Perez. We're about to teach you my nerdy little tactic. So what we're going to do is we're going to click in the bottom right. Do you see my headshot down there, everyone? My bottom right headshot, okay? Here's a little tactic. First, you got to get your kid's phone. You have to, no, but my kid logged me into their Instagram account, so I'm cool. No, your kid did not log you into all of their accounts. So first, your kid may have a spam account, a fake Instagram account, a Finstagram account. They use the second account to hide things from their parents and to be who they really are with a select group of people. So hold down your face, your headshot in the bottom right, as I'm going to do, and boink, look at that. There's a second account. So currently we are logged into Josh Oakes, but then there's Smart Social Kids, which could be like Josh Oakes _spam. That could be a secret account, right? And that's how students are able to jump between. Now, just if you're listening to this, just to be super clear, because I get this question a lot, Josh, is it a separate app? No, there's one Instagram app officially made by the Facebook company who does own Instagram, just to be clear. But one Instagram app can be the administrator and content creator for up to 5 accounts inside of one app. Right. And you can hit that button. We're going to click on Smart Social Kids, which is my company account. And then you can switch over. You can post. You can read the DMs and everything else. It's downloading slow because of my internet connection. Okay, Rudy, where am I wrong?
I'm sorry. Where are we going with this next?
What am I missing, I should say?
Well, so these are the things that, we were going to go back to other applications.
Let's do
especially
that.
With like a Polo, right? Polo is a video application. And we were talking about some of these companies that aren't regulated in the United States.
Yeah.
And the cyber liability doesn't affect them. So they just do really whatever they want with the
Now, Marco Polo or Polo?
Marco Polo.
Are they not based in the US?
Oh, no. I think they are, but I'm just giving you, there's a bunch of apps out there.
Yeah.
And what's scary about this is, let's say kids upload their pictures or are doing a video, but you can have a third party watching your interaction between that kid or another kid, and then they start pulling this content offline, and all of a sudden you see it on an adult website because kids are sharing naked pictures of themselves with each other. So these are some of the things we're going to see.
Okay, we're looking at Kick Messenger right now. Everybody that's listening, Kick Messenger is based in Canada. We love our friends and our Canadian friends, but I've gotten phone calls from, I'm not in law enforcement, I've got phone calls from the news saying, will you report on or comment on what law enforcement's telling us? A 13-year-old young woman was abducted by a 55-year-old man in XYZ state. She was on Kick Messenger. He befriended her, picked her up outside the house after the parents went to sleep, and took her to another state. She came back safely, thank God, but mom and dad thought she's not online, and they found out she's on Kick Messenger. And the reason why we do not like, and the reason why Sargent Rudy Perez right now is telling you to beware of where an app is located is because if they're based in Canada or China, we're going to look at a China app here in a moment, our officers and law enforcement and first responders do not really have the jurisdiction to say, hey, Kick Messenger, we have a child abduction. This is a red hot issue. I want the IP addresses of everybody that's used it. And we want the IP addresses of these users and everyone this young woman has talked to.
Correct.
We do not have the jurisdiction to go in there and demand the IP addresses. We have to wait an hour, a day, a month, who knows? And if your kids,
I'll tell you this.
Go ahead.
They don't. There's companies that don't cooperate with us. We will have a search warrant. We will get the FBI involved. And they said, that's nice, but we don't even have to talk to you.
And they don't have to. And that's why being based in the US is, wherever you're located at listening to this, your country will have that jurisdiction locally. I want to show you one more that's one of the hottest videos I've got right now is called TikTok, and it is located and made in China. Now, if your kids ever had an app called Musical.ly, which was really hot, Musical.ly was gobbled up and purchased by TikTok. So TikTok was purchased by the creators of Musical.ly, and they discontinued their app, transferred all the users to TikTok in China. So all 100 million users and data are now based in China. And although I love my Chinese friends and my friends in China, we don't exactly trust this app based on your kids' information on their servers, because as Sargent Perez said, we don't know what they're doing with it.
That's right.
What do you see about TikTok? Are you seeing anything going on there?
Oh, I see the kids. Well, remember, it's the music. It's anything that has to do with the draw of kids, whether it's a rap video that they're mimicking or pretending to be part of. The beautiful part about technology is like you can do a rap video on your iPhone and it looks like MTV spent hours and hours on it. So once again, it goes back to the digital audience. What is the digital audience that kids are created online, and which is the number one feeling of why kids want to connect, right? The desire to connect.
Yeah. And we're finding that students love this app, and it is there's some private messaging in most of these apps, right? And
that's one thing I can talk about. So let's talk about that. So let's say a parent grabs an application like with TikTok, or simple. Let's go to Facebook, right? Let's talk about simple thing as Facebook. Parents don't realize that there's secret conversations ability on Facebook. So you can have that secret conversation with somebody and you can delete the content that's between you or that other person, but that conversation will never appear and that parent will never be able to see that because it's called secret conversation from one phone to another phone. Because a lot of parents tell me, well, I have access to their Facebook account from my computer so I can see everybody they're talking to. Well, no, the encryption is between that phone to that other phone. And that's the only way that parents can actually see when they do talk in that secret conversation.
So what you're saying, and this I think is sometimes in WhatsApp, it's encrypted. And so it doesn't exist in the cloud. Sometimes It'll go between phone to phone and it won't sync with a third party phone. Is that what you're hinting
at? Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's a problem. And so it really hits at what you're secretly, if you don't mind me speaking for you, but you're saying get a hold of your kids' phones. If they're living in your home, I'm going to put my own opinion in here.
No, I'll tell you.
I'm going to put my own opinion. I think we have a split heart here. But if your children are living under your home and they're under 18 years old, you have every right to know where they're at, what they're doing. If you give them a car at 16, most parents agree I should have the right to have the keys to that car because I purchased it. It's in my name. It could kill another family. It could hurt my child. And I want to be able to look in that trunk from time to time to make sure their friends didn't put something inappropriate in there that Sargent Perez would find that would get our whole family in trouble. So please consider, and I hate to tell you this, but I would argue, and I want you to tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong, Sargent Perez, but I would argue that there's not much that a student under 18 years old should have that's probably super private on their device when they're living at home. Am I wrong there?
No, you're not wrong. You're absolutely correct. I tell parents this all the time. You bought it, you own it, okay? And I think it is, we've had unfortunately, having a digital conversation is great, but we've lost the actual connection to human contact, right? And I always tell parents this all the time. Hey, if you're going to have dinner, grab a basket. Everybody toss your phones in there and have, the Blue Bloods show, have the contact of dinner again. America has lost that contact of having dinner and just connecting with people. But I tell all my friends, I get it. I live there too. I got to look at my emails. I got to look at my notifications. But we have to have the ability to say, let's connect again at a human level.
Yeah. And kids will not have, exactly. Kids are the sponges we must pay attention to because we as adults know that, but they see what we do. So we need to, do that even more.
For sure.
All right. So let's leave this. I'm going to wrap this up. I really appreciate your time here. I'm going to give you final word. What are you telling parents these days? What's the one tip that you can give them to really keep their kids safe?
So to keep your kids safe, be in their lives. Look, be that nosy parent that I had them. Be that nosy parent, not only in who their friends are, but who are their digital friends? Who are they talking to online? Because like I tell parents, would you allow your 15-year-old daughter to talk to an unknown male that is 40 years old at a park alone? And the answer is no. So why would you allow them to talk online together and exchange pictures, exchange videos, talk online, live? Our kids are asking for help and are asking to be intentionally hugged. Let's not let strangers do that. Let's bring that love to our kids that are needed by a parent or a caring adult, that's for sure. But I appreciate anything that I can do with you, Josh, and partner, to make this life and our country awesome and safe. I appreciate it.
I really appreciate your help. Everybody that's watching and listening to this, we want to walk you through, if you're wondering and looking for, all right, this is overwhelming, we have a process that I want to walk you through. You can do this on your own at home for free. We also have videos that teach you this. But first of all, the basis, if you remember the food groups, the basis, the food group pyramid, which has changed quite a bit over the last few decades, online safety is your first step. You must protect your kids, in our opinion, and the opinion of professionals all over the world who support us. That's good and bad apps, protecting your kids from bad people out there, protecting them from each other. Next is mental health, really talking to your kids about anxiety, depression, bullying, screen time addiction, giving them a vocabulary so they understand how to be their happiest self and understand that this is a drug. And everybody that isn't seeing us today, I'm holding up my phone. The experts are saying that the phone, the screen time that we have, is just as addictive as meth, cocaine, and anything in cigarettes as well. It's hard to put down. Next, our third step is really sit down with your child and help them plan their future. That means create a private portfolio or sit down and write in their journal, what activities are you doing that you want to be proud of? And you can sit down with a free tool online and do it. We also do this in our video program, our Smart Social community. But you use their activities to tell a story. Here's what happens. Number one, that is great for them someday getting a job because it moves to the next step. And number two, inside 90% of this process, if you tell a child they're good at something, they will look at that in a way then say, wow, I'm good at that. I should focus on it more. And I am known for that. I'm taking pride in it. I will do better. And if you highlight something else, students will actually gravitate towards what we talk about. So if we develop a private portfolio, psychologists are behind us, counselors, let's tell them what they're known for. Music, sports, photography, art, whatever that, skateboarding, if they're having fun, let's turn it productive. And that's the way we use the device with a purpose instead of a pastime. And then last, our dream that in middle school, and we are doing this with middle schools all over the country, is developing a portfolio young. 6th, 7th, 8th grade, they have a digital private portfolio that mom and dad are blessing and going, this is so cool. So that when they hit high school, because you already have everything online, whether you like it or not, we all have our personal details online. You then turn it on and it turns into a high school resume and you get an internship. You have colleges looking at you. It comes up on the first page of Google. And that's really our 4-step plan: safety, mental health, private activities portfolio, really getting your kid emphasizing the positive outcomes. And last is a high school resume, getting your kid to shine online and launch them into a career, internship, college, whatever that plan is for your child. Sargent Perez, I want to thank you for your time today. I really appreciate you taking time out for your busy schedule.
Anytime.
Thank you to everybody that's listening and watching to this. We will see you soon at smartsocial.com. Have a great day.